Okay, so some follow up on the Jeffrey Epstein case. During our last discussion, we had talked about the DOJ Deputy Attorney General going in and interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell, and that she was going to be cooperative. Uh, no promises were made to her. Nothing was asked for by her attorney. It was all confirmed by her attorney. One of the rebuttals from the Democratic side, Chuck Schumer in particular, said, well, this isn't fair because the DOJ attorney that went in to interview just happens to be a former defense attorney for Donald Trump. So when the next interviews, the actual interviews took place, there was a third party attorney, government representative that went in during the interviews. During those interviews, the statement from him was they believed she was being honest, truthful, and sincere. She had put out over 100 names of people that were implicated as customers. She had confirmed that Donald Trump was not on any client list. Although his name appeared in the file, he was not a client. She confirmed, we know because of a press conference that President Trump did, where he was asked about this, what he said was, you shouldn't be talking to me. My name doesn't appear as a client anywhere in the file. Who you should be talking to is Bill Clinton, who was a VIP customer. You should be talking to the former president of Harvard, who was a VIP customer. And you should be talking to all these hedge fund managers that lived with Epstein. I never lived with him. So a couple of names came out on that. Some that we already suspected, and there's already been some evidence presented, throughout the whole time that Bill Clinton had been at the island. And like we had stated, we had no evidence that he was actually committing any illegal acts while there, but we knew he was there. Now it's been confirmed, apparently through Ghislaine Maxwell, that he was actually a client and did participate in illegal activities.
Well, the format of that whole island in Epstein's program, um, if you went there, you went there for a reason. What would that reason be?
Right. This wasn't just a party island, although there was a lot
Right.
of partying going on there. There was a specific type of party taking place. This is where
Right.
young, underage females and males were being
Trafficking.
trafficked to high-level politicians, high-level visibility people that could afford to be at these parties and attend these functions. The one thing that I did want to bring up that I know we didn't touch on, one of the things that's coming out or being alleged now is that it's a possibility, or it's being alluded to, that Jeffrey Epstein was working undercover for the CIA and was doing this under the umbrella of governmental function to pull in these high-level people and get dirt on them so that they could control the politics. These weren't just American leaders. These were leaders from other countries that were being invited in there. I haven't seen any factual basis to that allegation, but it was being alluded to.
On that note, Epstein had to get some funding and support from somewhere. Where that come from, nobody knows. Um,
Well, Epstein was very rich on his own. He was a financial manager. He held some other positions, and he had a lot of money. He was worth a lot of money. I mean, he bought the island. Now that money, when you talk about financial advising, and then you throw in the hedge fund manager, he did make a lot of money through investing. Were some of these investments that he made a result of insider trading because of information he was getting? Because he was working for the government? At this point, I don't know. Again, I've heard the allegation. I've seen no evidence of it.
Oh, oh, yeah, you look at it with the allegations and stuff and what was going on in the situation. It's high crime, uh, and usually those situations, the backing or that comes from a foreign source, uh, such as, and I don't want to implicate anybody here, but such as the Italian mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So you get supported, and then you generate money and pay it back. But a lot of organized crime goes on here in the United States, and it entered the political situation. I don't want to mention any names there either, but organized crime has been in the United States government and probably still is.
Right. Yeah, they've got the money, the power, the backing. They can commit those acts that you couldn't really do above board, assassinations. Of course, the CIA has been known to do some of this stuff as well. Um, but yeah, there could be others involved. As I look at it and you think of it from that angle, first of all, it's come out, and it's a pretty well known fact at this point, that Jeffrey Epstein himself was a pedophile. He loved the underage girls, brought them to his house, performed sexual acts on them personally. Um, so we know he was into that. So then, does it become birds of a feather? Or does it become, hey, we found a guy that's into that. He's got money. Let's fund him. Let's see if we can pull some people into this and get some dirt on them, have some control. I don't know.
I don't know either, but why else? That's what we talked about. Why else would you keep that kind of a list if there is one?
Hmm.
Unless you were trying to gather uh, dirt for control.
Well, the claim has been from his attorney that there is no list. And as far as I'm aware, the interviews with Ghislaine Maxwell, she's not talking about a list. She's speaking from memory and from things she actually witnessed herself. I haven't heard that there was a list. So there are flight logs, there are guest lists probably for the house, financial transaction lists. I'm sure there's a lot of those type of things, but an actual list describing on this day at this time, this person did this with this young lady. I don't know as there actually is a list.
Don't know that either. I just was, it's speculation, just like they're
Hmm.
doing.
Right.
So all remains to be seen as it unfolds, like we said before.
Right. And then the beauty of it is the Democratic Party now, and we've talked before, they had control of all this information for at least 12 years during the investigation, at least 4 after Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, if they were going to implicate Donald Trump into this. And now Donald Trump came out and with his claim for transparency and that he is going to release these files or declassify all this information. They turn around and have thrown, with all the promises made, promises kept. What about the Epstein list? Come on, let's see the list. Let's see the list. So President Trump says, all right, I am ordering the DOJ and everybody to release all information you have. And what happens? An Obama appointed Democratic judge says, oh, no, you don't, and blocks it. So there you have it.
Yeah.
I think the information will come out. I think that Ghislaine Maxwell, again, this is going to be testimony based on her memory. Who knows what kind of a deal is going to be struck, or will there be a deal struck? She's been in prison for over 20 years now. I'm sure she's had time to think about it. Is the information going to be accurate? Can it be confirmed? All of these things will come to light here in the near future, would be my guess.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's going to be, real factual myself because it's been too long. I keep saying that, but
And I
that's my
have to
take.
agree. There's been too many hands that had control of this that could have went, ooh, take that name off. Ooh, doctor this. Now, can that stuff be identified? I've seen TV shows where they tell you they can time stamp and date ink on paper and tell you what computer it came from. Well, I don't know.
It depends on who you have a look at it.
Right, right. But it's been through enough hands that I think no matter what comes out of it, the American public is going to have trouble believing it, even if it is the truth.
Yeah, it's like, I heard something the other day, and it's the subject unrelated to Epstein, but every person that committed some kind of financial fraud or espionage was put in that position because they trusted them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I would have to agree
Ponder
with you.
ponder that for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that hits our follow up and the things that we missed on our first of the Epstein series, which I'm sure is going to continue. Uh, that's the information we have up to this point. And will the truth ever come out? And will it be believed?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody
Stay
knows.
positive.
There
Yeah,
we
stay
go.
positive, everybody.